holidays, what ways can you prevent getting yourself and loved ones sick? And in sports, Ohio women's basketball hosts the Dayton Flyers for their home opener. Newswatch starts right now.
Food banks across Ohio will receive a boost in funding thanks to a settlement with Dollar General. Good evening, I'm Jack Green.
And I'm Silver Barker. Welcome to Newswatch. Dollar General paid the state $750,000 after the store was charged with overcharging customers. Ohio Association of Food Banks Executive Director Jory Novotny says the funds come at a critical time. Counties with at least $1 general in them will receive $1,000. The rest will be distributed based on how many stores each county has. County auditors have until November 30th to choose a local organization to receive the money. A bill regulating how data is maintained and used awaits its first hearing in the Ohio House of Representatives. Senate Bill 29 prohibits technology providers contracted by Ohio schools from selling or sharing student data, which is now defined as school property. Schools would also have to tell parents which providers they are working with. If that agreement ends, providers are tasked with giving what they've collected back to schools or destroying it. The Ohio Senate passed the measure unanimously yesterday. Members of the United Auto Workers unions have approved a labor deal with General Motors as deals with Ford and Stellantis continue to be voted on. The vote was not without drama as members at several plants voted it down. But in the end, 55% of membership voted to support the agreement, which was reached on October 30th. And that was enough to ratify the deal with GM. Neither the union nor any of the companies have any immediate comment on the results. A new analysis from the Muskingum Watershed District's oil and gas revenue shows a boost of nearly $1 billion to the region's economy. This was due to a major upgrades and maintenance needs which came to recreational facilities and marinas in 2014. It has also supported 2,606 jobs, paying out nearly $300 million in wages and benefits since its inception 9 years ago. The research into these economic profits were done by Cleveland State University.
A new report shows West Virginia is one of 8 states in the U.S. with a failing rating on preterm births. The March of Dimes report says the country got a D+. The infant and maternal health nonprofit says the rate of babies born before 37 weeks gestation remains among the highest in over a decade. Premature birth is the leading cause of infant deaths. Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, and South Carolina are among the other failing states, and no state earned an A. With Thanksgiving right around the corner, doctors are urging Ohioans to make healthy life choices this holiday season. Obesity is a rising health concern in the state of Ohio. Ohio Department of Health Director Dr. Bruce Vanderhoff is finding new ways to help ODH staff tackle obesity. He wants Ohioans to keep active, reduce stress, sleep more, and think about their food consumption. With only 1 week left till Thanksgiving dinner, the travel rush is kicking in. It's also the start of a busy season for flu, RSV, and COVID. Karen Kafa has more on how to keep your household healthy this holiday season.
Thanksgiving kicks off the bustling holiday season filled with fun, friends, family, and the potential for viruses. Dr. Mandy Cohen, director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, says it takes time after a flu, COVID, or RSV vaccine to build up maximum protection. So the sooner you get a shot, the better.
It does take about 2 weeks for your body to build up the maximum amount of antibodies, but it's never too late. Right behind Thanksgiving, we know we get right into the rest of the holiday season, and we want to be protected again as we're going to holiday parties, we're getting into Christmas and New Year's.
The CDC recommends that everyone ages 6 months and older get a flu vaccine this fall and an updated COVID-19 vaccine, even if you had one last year.
That virus has changed, and the protection you've gotten from past infection or from getting the COVID vaccine has decreased.
Adults over 60 and parents of infants should talk to doctors about whether an RSV vaccine is appropriate for themselves or their little ones. And Cohen says there are easy steps to protect against picking up infections in crowded places like airports and malls.
Masks do work to protect you from what the viruses that are circulating. Of course, wash your hands, bring some hand sanitizer. sanitizer with you. And if you have the opportunity, open a window and go to places where there's more ventilation.
And if you're sick, stay home. It's a season for spreading joy, not germs. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
With the holidays means it's getting colder, and joining me now is Newswatch forecaster Lexi Bell-Polsey. Now, Lexi, how can people, what do they expect when they're traveling for the holidays this year?
Well, whether you're traveling this weekend or into next week, weather is always an option. Weather is always something you need to look out for. But we can see that more this in my first weather. Here currently in Athens, it is 54 degrees with clear skies and some calm winds going into our night. So hopefully you were able to enjoy this beautiful, beautiful day before night fell about an hour ago. But we can see that those sunny skies more with our national satellite, where we see our cloud cover. Now, most of our cloud cover in Ohio in general is more to our west and our north. Nothing really here in the southern area of Ohio. And that is mainly because of our high pressure system that is looming over our area over here. But today we saw a high temperature of 70 degrees, and we're going to be seeing a low of 47 tonight with partly cloudy skies, and tomorrow's sunrise being at 7:12 in the morning. But hopefully you went out and enjoyed today's beautiful weather, because we'll see more later that that's not going to stick around for much longer. Back to you, Jack.
Thanks, Lexi. Ohio University and WOUB University in Japan are celebrating a legacy of international exchange. The partnership started in 1973 with professors from each university going to the other to teach. Now, as part of the partnership, international students, domestic students, and Athens locals meet weekly for language exchange in Jefferson Hall. For one of the students from WOUB University, she enjoyed her time in Athens so much, she's back for a second semester.
Many foreigners in conversation hours, so I don't care about my grammar, and they helped me, so I like to have a conversation with foreigners.
Hikaru sees this conversation hour as an opportunity to improve her English. These conversations help develop the 50-year partnership and encourage a cultural exchange, which makes this long-term relationship so unique.
There are 18 scientists in the U.S. sharing their findings in a decadal survey released by the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine, and one of them just so happens to be a professor teaching at Ohio University. Take a look.
This is the do not lose this keychain.
Dr. Sarah Wyatt is always on the move, keeping an eye on these little brown spots, Arabidopsis seeds, small yet very meaningful towards her research. Wyatt studies how plants grow in microgravity environments like space. Her research could help astronauts going to the moon or Mars grow plants for food, medicine, and oxygen.
Animals cannot survive without plants, period. So yes, if we're going anywhere, we've got to take plants. We can either package them all up and take them, or we can grow them when we get there.
She's already had 4 of her experiments launched into space and will have a 5th.
We send them up as seed, they germinate on ISS, and then we can freeze them and bring them back.
Wyatt says the usual cost to launch something is $30,000 to $40,000 per pound, which is why she believes plants can make launches much more affordable.
So that piece of how do we do it, how do we travel with the least expense?
Although Wyatt has never been to space, she has been able to see her own experiments launch, a moment she'll never forget.
You can see it go up, and then it's like, all right, here it comes, and it's just like, oh my God.
And now, Wyatt wants to select a team of students to experience that same excitement. She plans to gather 10 teams of people interested in designing experiments for the International Space Station. One lucky team's experiment will be chosen to fly to the International Space Station, and they will feel the same thrill Dr. Wyatt did seeing their experiment head into space.
While there is not an exact launch date for the student experiment, it is expected to launch in the late spring next year. Coming up, why Ohio is debating flavored tobacco bans, and updates on the Israel-Hamas war and the response from U.S. citizens across the county.
And we have seen some absolutely gorgeous weather this past week, but will that continue into our weekend and Thanksgiving week? We'll find out when we come during my full weather when Newswatch returns.
On Masterpiece.
I've come to take Vera home. This is her home.
I know that you're angry.
You think you know everything. But you don't even know when your own wife is lying to you.
What is it that you're even doing here?
You sure we don't just run and disappear?
There will be no turning back.
I know how this ends.
Do you? World on Fire, the season finale on Masterpiece.
Sunday at 9 on WOUB.
Remember, first impressions.
This just is the beginning to a change in fortunes.
I'm awake. I feel like I've opened my eyes. The world is changing.
I think we should take it to the next level.
Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it?
I thought that was rather jolly.
So much fun.
You make a good team. And what will you tell the child when they ask where their dad is?
There's a war. I'll tell them you're dead. Are you ready for it?
If we can find him, we'll get him.
I'm here to make sure justice gets done.
I really love you more than anything.
It's really loud.
Shall we?
Fortune favors the bold.
It feels more like the start of something than the end.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
Prometheus was asked to form mankind. It was a bit messy, but then so are we.
Morgan, you okay?
We're still searching the scene.
The boat was owned by a retired DL. She was one of us. We've just lost a suspect.
Guess she was protecting me. Maybe she always was.
Annika, the season finale on Masterpiece Mystery.
Sunday at 10 on WOUB.
An effort to override Ohio Mike DeWine's veto to ban flavored tobacco locally is underway. This comes as Columbus bans flavored tobacco effective in January. Meanwhile, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Dayton are all considering their own bans. House Speaker Jason Stevens says he's working to get the voters to override DeWine's veto, saying it's not fair to a retailer who can no longer compete. Today is a Great American Smokeout, a time to focus on quitting smoking. So if you're thinking about kicking the habit, Mandy Gaither has ways to help you quit and explains why it's important to take that first step.
The past decade in the U.S., the number of tobacco smokers has declined, but about 34 million American adults still haven't kicked the habit, according to the American Cancer Society.
There's really nothing more important that you can do for your health than to stop smoking.
Smoking can lead to heart and lung disease, stroke, diabetes, and cancer.
42% of cancers are preventable. Half of that is from tobacco.
There's not one right way to quit smoking, but experts say start by thinking about why you want to quit. Write down your reasons and look back on them when you want to smoke. Next, set a quit day. Make a strong personal commitment to stop. Let others know of your plan so they can support and help you. And finally, plan out how you want to quit. For most people, it'll be a combination of medicine, a method to change personal habits, and emotional support.
Quitting smoking is really hard and it's very difficult, but people can get there.
When you do quit, the 4 Ds can help fight the urge to smoke. Delay for 10 minutes and repeat if needed. Deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. Drink water slowly, sip by sip. And finally, do something else. Get up and move around.
It may take 1 time, it may take 2 times, it may take 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. But not giving up on it is incredibly important.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Good evening, Athens, and today we saw some sunny skies, and we can visualize that a lot better with our national satellite. You can see those that cloud cover mainly being to our north and our west, not really down here in southern Ohio, and that is because, Well, that is because a high pressure system is looming over our area, which has been giving us these absolutely gorgeous temperatures these past couple of days. And that is mainly because it is now getting closer. Before it was farther, which was giving us more of that cloud cover. But now we're seeing those beautiful skies. But today we saw a high of 70 degrees with a low in our 40s. With, fun fact, our temperatures were actually 13 degrees above average for today, specifically November 16th here in Athens. And 1 second. Yeah, no, it's not working. It's not working anymore. Back to Jack.
Sorry about that, everyone. We will be back with her just to get a little bit more weather later in the show. But in the meantime, Israeli military officials are declaring northern Gaza under their control. Now, the Israeli military is dropping leaflets warning civilians in communities near southern Gaza's largest city to move to shelters. Laura Aguirre has more on clashes that would be moving south.
There is an AK-47. There are cartridges, ammo.
The Israel Defense Forces releasing video it claims shows a cache of weapons, ammo, and other tools of war used by Hamas. Found, the IDF says, inside Gaza's Al-Shifa hospital, where Israeli troops are searching for a second day. CNN hasn't been able to independently verify those claims, and Hamas and hospital officials deny the hospital is being used as a command center. U.S. officials say evidence at the site is strong.
We're confident, based on our own intelligence analysis, that the basement areas of that hospital, underneath that hospital, and the hospital itself, is being used by Hamas as a command and control node.
In the U.S., divisions over the war sparking more run-ins between groups and law enforcement. A demonstration in D.C. overnight escalated to one person being arrested, 6 officers being injured, and some congressional members temporarily evacuated. Morning rush hour in Boston blocked by a pro-Israeli group demanding a ceasefire in Gaza.
It is a scary time to be a Jewish person.
In San Francisco Wednesday, demonstrators converged near where President Joe Biden was speaking at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit. Many here said they hoped their actions would lead to meaningful change.
But if it's not, we will be back in the streets, and the pressure is only going to increase.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Egyptian officials at the Rafah border crossing into Gaza say more than 6,000 gallons of fuel were delivered to the United Nations Relief and Works Agency. They say that's just 9% of what is needed daily to sustain life-saving activities.
Next in sports, the Ohio women's basketball team is set for its home opener as they take on the Dayton Flyers tonight at the Convo.
And for the latest from Newswatch, check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
You had a family, so now you need to choose what you want. What do you mean? I mean, this is your life.
It's a sacred fire. It burns for 4 days when someone passes away.
When someone returns home to us, we are filled with hope. Every return is meaningful. Hold on to your courage. Little Bird is home now.
Tonight at 9 on WOUB.
We're often referred to in the history books in the past tense, but here we are in the present, and we're going full force.
Native women are strong and resilient.
My people in the Buffalo have a shared history.
She's a warrior. It's about representing ourselves in the way we see ourselves.
We're scientists, we're engineers, we're doctors. We're doing things to make a difference in this world.
Witness one moment when television changed the world.
President Kennedy has been shot.
With eyewitness accounts, an unparalleled compilation of seldom seen footage, and revealing interviews with the reporters who made the news. It's the story of the media and the moment it changed forever. I'm Jane Coley, your host for JFK, Breaking the News.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
I'm Billie Jean King, tennis champion and equal rights activist. I invited world-class athletes to team up for a series of one-on-one conversations to share their powerful stories of their individual roads to success.
We won that first World Cup. We won the Olympics. We were literally still making $10 a day.
$10 a day?
Yes.
Maybe I really have had an impact as a woman in sports.
Tuesday at 8 on WOUB.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Darius Sethna.
And I'm Andrew Bowlby. It was a fitting end to another season at Peden Stadium as the Ohio Bobcats took down Central Michigan for the first time since 2011. The Bobcats came out of the tunnel led by Rufus, and head coach Tim Albin one last time last night and were able to fend off the Chippewas 34-20. Leading Ohio to victory for the final time at home was quarterback Curtis Rourke. The Maple Missile finished with 15 completions combined for a total of 222 yards. Rourke also had a 16-yard rushing touchdown.
On the other side of the ball, the Bobcats held strong with the leadership of seniors Key Thompson and Bryce Houston. Thompson and Houston combined for 18 tackles on the night. Players both will go down as two of the best linebackers to come out of Ohio. Thompson had one word to sum up his final plays on the Frank: surreal.
I look over at the end of the game, kind of look to my brothers, guys I've been here with since 2018, one sitting right next to me. It was surreal, you know what I mean? It was a good hard-fought game. We came out to win, something we always want to do. We just embraced it with each other.
The Bobcats end their season next Friday at noon in Akron against the Zips.
Even with this week's win and a win next week, the Bobcats won't be making it back to Detroit for the MAC championship this year. For the first time since 2019, the Miami Redhawks clinched the MAC East title last night with their 23-10 win over Buffalo. The Bobcats suffered a tragic loss to their bitter rivals and needed the Redhawks to lose tonight's game and next week. Miami will take on MAC West champion Toledo at Ford Field on December 2nd. Even though Ohio will not be making another run for their first MAC title, they still have a chance to win a bowl game. It's unclear who and where the Bobcats will play, but bowl games will be announced on December 3rd.
Also last night, the Ohio volleyball team secured a 3-1 series win on the road to the Kent State Golden Flashes. Sam Steele had another sensational performance. The senior tallied a team-high 23 digs and finished with 6 assists. This win concludes the Bobcats' regular season of play as they finish with a 13-5 conference record. Ohio has been named MAC East Division co-champions with the Buffalo Bulls, who also finished with a 13-5 record. In just a few minutes, the Ohio women's basketball team will take to the court in the Convo for the first time this regular season.
Yeah, Darius, tonight the Bobcats will take on Dayton in the second ever meeting with the Flyers. Ohio was looking to bounce back after a season last year that saw them finish just 6-23 and 4-14 in MAC play. This season, the Bobcats have experienced a roster overhaul from last year's team. Last season, from start to finish, Ohio was led by guard Yaya Felder, who averaged 22 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. During the offseason, Felder transferred to Baylor University, and her absence will leave a hole in the Ohio lineup. Keep an eye on returners like junior Kate Dennis and sophomore Jaya McCleary, who averaged 4 and 8 points respectively.
The Bobcats also have 5 freshmen on the roster who will need to fill roles from graduating seniors last season. That's all we have for sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Still ahead, how a zoo in the United Kingdom is saving an almost extinct animal. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, we'll take a look back at some memorable stories from Roadshow's 2008 stop in Dallas, Texas.
You have 2 great stories here that have collided right in this baseball.
It was covered with black paint. It was destined for the burn pile.
My mother will be shocked. She may be wanting to take it back.
Which of these items has doubled in value in the past 15 years? Find out next time on Antiques Roadshow Vintage Dallas Hour 2.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
Who isn't curious about family history?
I just wanted to see where it all started.
My family is on a quest.
We're looking for answers to Grandpa Lee to see where he came from.
But all Black families will find that the records are generally very incomplete.
We're hoping that DNA testing can unlock secrets of the past.
Look at that big chunk of DNA in the middle. You see it?
Lee and Liza's family tree on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
Hey, it's your old car here. Remember me? Remember us? You barely even turn me on anymore. It's clear you don't need me, but that's perfectly fine, my friend, because you can choose to give this old car new purpose and donate. Vehicles like me can bring significant funds to public television. So call or donate online. Donating a vehicle is easy, the pickup is free, and your gift is tax deductible.
Saturday at 10 on WOUB.
Finally tonight, the Whipsnade Zoo in the UK just welcomed a new family member. This desert antelope Orksy left his home in Denmark to fulfill a crucial mission, helping his species come back from the brink of extinction. The young male is surrounded by a herd of 9 females, including Faye, who zookeepers think might be more his type. They are hoping to welcome new calves to the group soon. Orksy's move to this UK zoo is part of an international breeding program for the extinct in this wild species. The aim is to ensure the herd remains genetically diverse and can one day lead to the species being reintroduced to the wild. Now over to Lexi with a look at weather.
Thank you, Silver, and sorry about what was happening just then. My graphics must wanted to take a quick Thanksgiving vacation a little too early, but like what I was talking about, we can see that clear skies in our southern Ohio area, and that is because of our high pressure that has been looming over us for the past week, giving us these beautiful temperatures, beautiful weather, and you know, it's going to be moving out of our area, unfortunately, but we'll get more into that in a second. But currently here in Athens, it is 54 degrees with clear skies. So hopefully, like I said before, you've gotten out and enjoyed that weather before night fell about an hour ago, with some calm winds. So nothing too much to complain about. But what I really wanted to take a look at was the fact that our temperatures today, we expected a high temperature of 70 degrees, which is not much different than some of the temperatures we see here in our south, especially. In Houston only is 64 and Dallas only at 60. We were seeing temperatures around the times they were seeing their high temperatures around the same as ours, which is really insane to think about it now that we're in the middle of November. But what's really interesting, like I said, our high of 70, we actually had we were actually 13 degrees over our average for today, November 16th. So that's really interesting to notice for our November temperature, with a low of 47. And we can see our high pressure really show when we look at our local temps for the past 24 hours. We hit that low temperature last night into our 70s. This is even saying 71 today. But tonight we're going to see that low of 47 take place with mostly cloudy skies and a sunrise tomorrow at 7:12. And tomorrow we're going to have widespread showers, 100% chance, with a high of 61 and a low of 34. And we can visualize that more with our surface analysis. Here you can see that a high pressure system still looming over our area a bit into tomorrow, but as we get into tomorrow night, that low pressure system is going to push through and bring us a little bit of a cool down and rainy conditions until Saturday even. But we'll see that more this week, with this weekend being about about 10 degrees cooler than us currently. Cooler than us on Friday, with Saturday and Sunday being only in the low 50s. But we're going to see more of a cool down into next week, especially Thanksgiving, with only a high of 39 and a low of 27. But we'll get more of an accurate forecast for you in Thanksgiving more into as we get closer. Back to you, Desk.
Thanks, Lexi.
I mean, that's just looking at the 7-day. I mean, I saw that it was partly cloudy, but 39 degrees for Thanksgiving. Chilly.
That's terrible.
I mean, when are you planning on going home for Thanksgiving?
As soon as possible. That's when I'm going home. Possibly this weekend.
I don't envy those going on Friday because it looks like it's going to pour rain.
Yeah. Oh, well, turn around, don't drown, though. That's terrible.
Exactly. So that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for joining us. For Dariah Sethna, Andrew Bowlby, and Lexi Bell-Polsey, I'm Jack Green.
And I'm Silver Barker. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WUB.org or follow us on social media. Have a great night.
Support comes from Ohio University's Tantrum Theater, presenting Shakespeare's Twelfth Night, or What You Will, a romantic comedy